Okay, so I got these three 3D printers with some filament for 150 euros, and now we are going to disassemble the one in the worst condition that is not worth repairing, and we will see how much of value is in it. So this was the first printer that this person had, and he said to me that he did not have instructions to assemble it, so he did his best. Like, I don't know, 5, 6, 10 years ago, I didn't get that information from him. So we can see that it's not the best, in the best condition, and that the main construction is from wood, laminated wood veneer. So it is not following safety protocols, because stepper motors and all electronics is getting hot near the wood, so it can burn down the house. That is one of the reasons why I did not invest time in repairing this printer. Now, the first owner used some strange kind of lubrication, so I had to clean that stuff up. So first I'm removing the main board, then I am disconnecting all the cables, just to make moving the machine easier. We can see that machine is full of trash and gunk and this lubricant. Now every axis of this printer was not in good shape. So no matter how much time and energy I put in this printer, it will not be economically feasible for me to invest. Now I'm disassembling hot end assembly, and we can see that there is nail motor and all metal extruder, so that's good. That's so valuable parts for upgrading other printers. Now after disassembling this printer, I had to wash my hands like five times in order for me to remove all dirt from my hands. Okay, so I am now removing threaded rod. It is not the kind that is used today, like lead screw. It's just threaded rod, so there was no need for me to save it. It costs like 50 cents, or at most $1, €1 for this to get locally. 1 meter of this to get locally. Now I'm removing as much parts as I can. Nuts, parts, washers, and so on. Now we can see that the hot bed assembly is holding mostly by fate in this scenario. I really don't know how he managed to get any prints from this printer, because it was not assembled correctly at all. Now I'm removing all possible screws that I can find, and I'm not thinking what it's for, what it's holding, just remove it and that would do the job. Now this thread rod for hotbed is in good shape. It is not destroyed with lubrication stuff that he used. That was lubricant for cars, I think. Totmac Master, something like that. Now next thing that we are going to do is to assemble this wooden frame, and to save as much of these screws as possible. You never know when you will need those screws. And waiting 15 days from AliExpress is not an option. So now I'm sorting through the stuff, and I'm going to disassemble fully every part that I can to basic form. So I'm removing hotbed assembly and disassembling it actually. So this wooden part and glass I'm going to throw away, and these plastic parts, but first I will remove nuts from these plastic wheels, because I really do not have any need for this wooden part. I cannot use it for any printer because it may catch fire, and I am not going to risk it. So every wooden part is thrown away, and the glass surface that it was printed on, and some other miscellaneous stuff that I was not able to reuse. So as you can see here, I had to use some wrench. The most valuable parts that we will reuse from this is stepper motors, rods, steel rods, and other miscellaneous small stuff. So with stepper motors, usually cables come usually with stepper motors, so we cannot count that as separate expense. We will calculate what we were able to reuse later on, and what is in reality the cost of this printer, of the parts of this printer, second hand, as is in our case. Now this stepper motor has this part of stepper motor is stuck on the axle, so I was not able to remove it. Later in this video we will see how I removed it. Now I am organizing stuff, screws and miscellaneous stuff, and I'm disassembling this X-axis. Now these two metal parts I was not able to remove with hands, so I used some other tools to remove it later on with brute force. Now we are left also with heater and extruder assembly. Now I am using wet wipes to clean all these parts, so that I can touch them with my bare hands and not make them dirty. The main reason for cleaning is because I had to store these parts in clean environment that I already have, so it should be cleaned. And if I'm going to resell them as used parts, also they should be cleaned even in that case. Now I'm cleaning remaining parts, and as we can see, hot bed is in really rough shapes. It has some stickers, some adhesives on it, lots of debris, and I am putting on it a tunnel, 96% tunnel that's used for beekeeping. Now, this was some really strong adhesive, and I had to use this multiple times, also with brute physical force, in order to remove it. Now the main board is modified. The person that used it did not have a correct connector for power, but in reality this connector is for GPU power or CPU power for a regular PC, so he could use that, but he did not have knowledge about that. Now I'm using the brush to clean the fans and the heatsink to remove the dust from them. And the one thing that I forgot is the power supply. With this printer came power supply, and also this could be put in the cost of this printer later on. Now this is the method that I use to disassemble this stuck-on part on this NEMA 70 motor. I use a little bit heavy-duty scissors, and we will see that in a couple of seconds. Here are the scissors, and they are for sheet metal, and it did the job. So this is in totality what was rescued from this printer, and also power supply was rescued, but it is not in pictures. Now this is one type of NEMA motors that was in there, and this is the other type of NEMA motor that was in there. Now we are going to do calculation. I have already opened the tabs. In this case 5 pieces are 1.22 US dollars, and I made mistake for the calculating. I timed it by 5, but in actuality it is only timed by 1. So this is the mistake of, like, I don't know, 5 euros, 4 euros, something like that. 4.10 euros. But in grand total, we will going to see how I decided to calculate the value. And if you think I did it correctly, you can write the comment, or if you think I did not do it correctly, you can also write your critique and comment. Now when we calculate, we have lots of small parts, and when we time it by 2, by 3, by 4, and the cost adds up. Now we get 5 pieces of A4988 stepper drivers for $2.78. Now take in consideration that this is without shipping. Some packages come with free shipping, some with extra high shipping, because I live in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So some don't come at all, and waiting time is 15 days up to 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on months. I recently had package that came after 8 months. I forgot about it. So it's crazy. Now this board is old and obsolete now. Maybe not so obsolete, but it's old. So $32 I would never pay for this board, because I can get Sakara 1.3 or so on for that money, which is better. Now we have belts are used, rods are used, everything is used. So these prices are for new parts, and we are going to see how much will this will be the cost to make this printer with these new parts in today's economy. So these stepper motors are quite expensive. We have them with cables. They come with cables, but $40 for 5 motors is quite expensive in my opinion. But it is how it is. Now I could not find the original screen, but I took the cheapest option available. It's $6, and hotpad also. Some generic, $13.3. Same is about right. Now we are at $152 without power supply. So I'm going to take in consideration amortization of the parts, because they are not new parts and they will not last as new ones. So I'm going to time it by 0.4, or 40% of the value is real value in this case. That is my thinking process. If new parts are valued at €150 or dollars, then used ones are half that price, ask price, or 20% of that ask price, because this is old printer. It was used for quite a long time, and it was not calibrated, so some parts are damaged. So I am going to time this by 0.3%. My thought is that parts of this printer are worth $45 in total. Heat bed, power supply, rods, all metal hotend, and so on. Tell me, what do you think about this calculation, and is it worth it to you to disassemble old printers and harvest their parts? In my case, for €150 for 1 kilogram of black TPU, 2.5 kilograms of PLA, and 3 printers, I think this was a good catch. See you in the next video.